the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2, we have communications. 2A, we have Libby Wasserbeck, and she's with CAB and the Jackson County Food Bank, if you'd like to come up.
So, as she mentioned, I'm Libby Wasserbeck. You're all very familiar with the Jackson County Food Pantry, that's your pantry. I'm the new pantry manager. I work with Christian Appalachian Project. And I just wanted to come tonight first to just introduce myself. You all know Miss Nina and Jenny Parker. And we also have Kendra Tillery working with us now as well. But I don't think I've met a lot of you, even though I served in the schools here with CAP as an AmeriCorps member in 2021 and 2022. So thank you for having me today. First thing I want to talk about is just partnership with the school district. I think our family advocacy programs already do a lot with your resource officers. The pantry is also at your disposal. So I just wanted you to know that if you have families in need, if there's a need for additional assistance, food resources, please reach out to us. We happily work with our school districts in the counties where we have pantries. So I just wanted to make that invitation. We also love to have student groups. So in Rockcastle County, we have the JAG program. They help us pack our senior commodity boxes each month. We have other groups like FBLA come and do things from time to time. They do have to be 12 years or older, and they do have to have a teacher or faculty member with them. But we welcome student groups. So right now with the smaller pantry, probably 8 to 10, when we move into the new 5,000 square foot facility we're building, we could probably take as many as 15. So, and we love groups. We love to give them that chance to give back. And that kind of leads into my last thing. Rockcastle County partnered with us, gosh, it's been 13, 14 years ago, to do a hunger walk each year. And the schools there kind of help lead out in that. And we walk down Main Street, we wear orange, and we do it in September every year as part of Hunger Awareness Month. So the students bring in canned goods. We talk to businesses, local businesses will donate canned goods as well. Sometimes they prefer to give financially, but it's kind of a community thing down there. We have a banner that sits in the middle of downtown just to raise awareness about hunger needs. And then CAB does a greater campaign with all of our donors, with a large school, Lexington Christian Academy in Lexington brings in a lot of donations with canned goods and stuff, and then donates them to all 3 of our pantries that we run here, Rockcastle and the Curry counties. So we want to continue this, and it's been a desire to start that here in Jackson if Jackson County had an interest in it. We wanted to present that to the school first because it is a lot of times things students like to get involved in. We have student speakers from every one of their schools at the event each year. So we have an elementary, usually a 5th grader, middle, high school. This last year, they had an FFA member speak as well. So we like to let them take kind of ownership in that. If it's something so I'm just presenting today, if it's something you're interested in, we usually start planning that in January. It can get really big. Rockcastle is rather large now, and so is Johnson County and LCA. We would start it small and just kind of grow it as we see it and the need to be there. So I have Jake load a video, kind of just so you can see what it looks like, kind of what we do, and then I can answer kind of a few more questions you might have about it.
Hunger Walk is an opportunity for us to raise awareness in the communities that we serve that there are hunger issues, and bringing the community together and knowing that our community members suffer with hunger allows them to have the opportunity to help us all make a difference.
So that's kind of what it looks like. At Rockcastle Schools, our superintendent is a big champion of this, but we also had our high school principal who's now in administration at the district level, J.D. Bussell. He was kind of our faculty liaison with this and helped us coordinate things on the school side. We do all of the media, press releases, all that kind of stuff. The school coordinates, of course, wherever we're going to do the walk, getting the students that are chosen to be a part of it. Your part's getting them there, choosing who gets to speak, that kind of thing. Let's see, I know the Marks family is very interested in supporting this. So, of course, in the end, recommended, so safety is always a primary concern. Most of the schools have chosen to use like a high school football track or something similar. Rockcastle has a side street that they've chosen to use, but even they've kind of discussed doing it more at the football field in the upcoming years. In the past, they've chosen sometimes to decorate with orange downtown, like orange ribbons, just like we do for other things, awareness. We usually do, CAP provides t-shirts to our key speakers, leaders of it, community members that are a part of it, and then everyone else is encouraged to wear orange as well for the walk. We try to keep it simple, but it can get really big, so that's why whoever, if you decided to appoint someone, we would kind of plan out what you felt like you could tackle and then go from there. But if you are interested, you can I've got business cards I can leave. But get in contact with me. We'll start, like I said, start planning in January, and we break it down in chunks so that it's not so overwhelming. But we'd love for Jackson County to hop in on that with us if you'd like to. And it's September 17th next year. That's the important thing, September 17th. Because I know you've got to plan academic calendars a lot of time in advance. Questions from you on that?
I think you just need to get your information
To her.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
she'll get it to the right person.
Okay.
But thank you so much.
Thank you.
So our next is recognition of the Jackson County Middle School girls basketball.
I won't use the microphone, I don't think anybody's having any trouble hearing me. Every year, of course, we like to recognize our students, coaches, just for all the time that they put into everything that they do, because that's who it's all about, are our kids. And if we didn't have the parents and the coaches running them back and forth and taking them and helping them, we wouldn't have anybody to do it. So I would like to ask Kelvin and Melanie Bingham, they are the coaches of our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade girls basketball. And so I will call your name and present all of our kids. And I'll handle Miss Melanie as she presents them to you guys. So we want to thank you guys for everything you do. So we have Miss Ava Smith. Sophia Martinez. Jalen. Kylie Martin. Maybe I do need to use the microphone. Kinley Judd. Hannah Gabbard. JC Estridge. Brooke Cornell. Josie Chrisman. Addie Brockman. Kylie Ray. Kinley Mitchell. Josie Scow. Emma Porter. Was that Elizabeth McQueen. Maddie Hammond. Aubrey Goforth. Ariana Edwards. Harper Bowling. Alyssa Welch. Tilly Truitt. Hadley Stewart. And Grace Furlong. We just want to thank you guys, and I know how much the coaches love you, and we do too, and I appreciate all the hard work and effort. And if you don't mind, I'm going to ask for y'all to go over here, we'll try to squeeze in, we might have to do a couple rows and get us a picture for our website, how about that? And then we can take this when we're finished to get to the resolution.
We're missing some for the academic development. Boys basketball is Saturday. And we'll be
So you all just get there if you want to, and I'm sure you're used to this, to passing all the time.
They're still in the middle, and they're just so tall.
I will say how amazing this group is on and off the court. This group right here, you all see it on the basketball court, how tough they are and how good they are. But off the court, they're even better. They're going to be our future on and off. They're going to take care of me when I'm old. Well, I'm already old, but they're going to continue taking care of me. They're a great group of girls.
Thank you. Thank you. And everyone is welcome to leave. I know that most of you, that is the good part for you. You're welcome to stay, but you are also welcome to go. You're very welcome.
Okay, so next on the list is update on construction at the Jackson County Middle School.
Good evening. So we are here to kind of give a sweeping update of where everything sits, what's left remaining, what items need to be completed, when they're going to be complete. And then also with us this evening, we've got the design team and one of their consultants, the mechanical engineer for the project. So as far as the project goes, right now, we have got everything. Obviously, there have been some recent issues with the heating. We've got everything heating and satisfying within the building with the exception of about 4 to 5 rooms. Those temperatures are fluctuating a little bit, but they're way up from what they were initially. They're in the 64, 66 range. The rest of the rooms are in the 68, 69, 70, 80, depending on what location it is. And I'm going to hand it here in a second. I'll hand it over to Grant to talk about that a little bit, expand on some of those things, just kind of mechanical stuff behind what's going on, how we got where we're at. As for the construction and the remaining items left to be completed, there's punch items and the floor in the hallway. All of those items, we talked about this, David's been on the phone yesterday and last week with contractors, kind of lining everybody up. As far as the floor goes, obviously, when we talked about this back at the summer, we had to have temperatures correct for it to heat, or for the floor to be laid, sorry. Once that happened, then we kind of got into a back and forth on if there was going to even be time available to get the floors waxed over the weekend if they came in a later portion on the weekend, and that was kind of putting the school in a bind. So for the flooring, the remainder of the flooring for the past at least 2 or 3 months, that was going to be, the remainder of the flooring in the hallway is going to be completed on Christmas break. As far as punch items go, throughout Christmas break, they'll be working on that. We have got 2 tentative dates for the flooring contractor to start. That is either the 22nd.
It's 23rd or the 19th.
The 19th.
19th is the last day of school, yes.
Yeah, so there are 2 tentative dates. We are actually leaning on the 23rd, and that's and that's the latest date possible that they would be starting for that hallway floor section. It would actually kind of work out better with everybody else and all the other things that have got to be done in that location as far as punch items go, for them to start on that date. Regardless, on the 5th, all punch items in the floor would be complete, done. And then that would remain, the last remaining item that would be out there to be completed would have to be done once the air conditioner is swapped back over for the cooling system. We turned over to heat before they were able to balance all of the stuff with the cooling system. When we turn the air back on, we're going to have to make sure that everything is balanced for the cooling system. And in addition to that, and I'll let Grant explain some of this a little bit more in detail, but in addition to that, we're going to be looking at a situation where, I lost my train of thought. In addition to that, we're going to be looking at a situation where we've got to do some additional owner training just to make sure that the school and the maintenance staff and everybody are fully aware of what it's going to take to move the system from cool cycle to heat cycle, back to cool cycle, and so on and so forth. Right now, we have training scheduled for this winter, which is just going to be a general training. Typically, that would be the only owner training you would really need, but because of some of the things that have had to be done to make sure everything's working properly in the system with the existing boiler and everything, we feel like it's probably necessary to have an additional training. With that, when it comes to swapping over the systems. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Grant just to speak a little bit about where we're at as far as correcting all the heating issues and then any other design things that we've got pertaining to the HVAC.
Sorry, can you hear me? I'm usually not very loud spoken like Steven is, but I guess, first of all, does everybody understand the heating and cooling system that's at the middle school? In terms of it being like a 2-pipe system, correct? It's got a chiller for cooling and it's got a boiler for heating, right? The pumps are basically pushing either chilled water or hot water through the building. And then in each room, you've got fan coils. Basically, that's distributing the heat or the cooling into the spaces. And there's valves that are obviously set to either let a lot of heating in or just a lot of cooling, based upon whether it's heating season or cooling season. So generally, that's how it is over there. I didn't know if anybody understood what the system was. So, as Stephen was talking about, we've got some balancing that needs to be done in terms of balancing the valves in each fan coil. So if the valve is not there, it's going to let all the heating flow right through the fan coil, and it's going to overheat the space. That's probably what you're getting in some of the units right now. I mean, they're not really constricting or reducing the amount of water that's flowing through the fan coils, so you're basically getting all the heat just dumped into some of the spaces. Other spaces, maybe at the end of the system, all the heat's gone and you're basically not getting enough heat. So, like Stephen suggested, we're going to do a water balance. That's upcoming the next few weeks. And then, as he mentioned, in the spring, when we switch over to the chiller, it'll have to be redone for the cooling season. We were asked to give an update. We're looking at about 3 to 4 days to do the water balance and about a day to do the controls. So that's good news. We also had the little issue with the boiler. I don't know if you all probably aren't quite familiar, right? The boiler getting emptied of water due to some operational changeovers. So what that introduced to the system, introduced a lot of air, which is not easy to get out of a piping system. To let water go in, you have to let the air out. Well, if too much air is in, you can't get more water in. So you've got to go through the system and relieve all the air out of the pipe. So that basically it's 100% water that's pushing through the pumping system. So with that, that's kind of in a nutshell where we are and where we were. And then looking forward, we're about, 3 to 5 days once we get that scheduled to be there and to do the balance. The good news is that the air side, the testing of balance with the makeup airs and some of the exhaust that's bringing fresh air into the school, all that's been done. My understanding is that's all in good shape. It's mostly the water side.
And you spoke to Absolute?
Yes, so I do work with Affordable, or Brian Cottle. So as Stephen mentioned, there's reusing the boiler. He is going to check that out. There's a relief valve that needs to be changed out. He's looking to do that for us this week.
So just to touch on, and I know that you all are probably overly sick of hearing this, but there are a multitude of issues that are coming together kind of all at one spot. Same thing with the air is the same thing with the heat. And those are two separate issues, but in both of them, there were a multitude of issues that came together to make one big problem, okay? So with the heating, the boiler issue with, as you had mentioned, with the air in the system, got the air out of the system, we still have rooms that are not satisfying. The reason those rooms are not satisfying, and Green was here throughout the weekend, they were kind of toying with the system, trying to get everything working right and seeing what they could do to make everything get satisfied. One of those things was ramping the boiler up as hot as they could get it, heating up the water, shutting the boiler valves off and closing everything off to the boiler, kind of falsely creating additional pressure, ramping the pumps up and shooting the hot water through the system through the entire school. As soon as they did that, it satisfied all the rooms, everything was heating perfectly, no issues whatsoever. That's what led them to the conclusion that this pop-off valve, or the relief valve rather, that the relief valve would correct the issue. We've looked at the boiler, Green has looked at the boiler, Green it says it on the boiler, it can withstand a 50 PSI higher pressure relief valve. Currently, it's got 30 PSI relief valve in it. So by changing that out, that should satisfy all the issues with the heat collectively 100%. On the other side, with the air, so obviously there were several things that we had to work through with Grant as far as the design goes, making sure that everything's working properly. And I think one thing that I would like to propose to the board whenever we get a little bit closer to swapping over that is just, or even sometime here in the near future anyway, maybe get past Christmas and stuff, but have a special call meeting to sit down and look at that and make sure everybody's satisfied with the system, make sure that everything is working properly, and make sure that all parties are happy with, at least with the system as it's functioning, and making sure everything's going forward as we want it to. Make sure you're not having any more issues with it also. That's just a thought, but and you're welcome to field that and let me know how you feel about it.
My thought is, we could be satisfied with the heat, but then in the spring, when you get the air conditioning.
Yes.
That could be something totally different.
Yes, yeah, and you're absolutely right, and I would like, that's why I would like to make it later on, honestly, to make sure that we are all satisfied. And I'm praying right now that in spring, it's warm enough to swap it over on spring break, test it out and see how it's doing. That's when we can do that balance. That's when we can check everything out and make sure it is satisfying correctly. And then kind of reconvene at that point in time to make sure that everybody's happy with everything. Because we've talked about this with some of that claim stuff that I've informed you all about earlier. We were on a call about that the other day. And that was one of the things that we've expressed. You know, as a construction manager, we don't self-perform anything. We are strictly here for you. And I want to make sure that the school board is satisfied, that the school board is happy with the product that they're getting, and that it is within the contract, according to everybody's contracts, and all that's good. But this is an ongoing thing, and nothing's gonna be fully known until it's all fully known, you know? And I tried to express that to the insurance side of that, about this claim, is that it is, you know, I'm hoping that everything's resolved. That's my strongest wish, but you know, if something comes up that seems to be related to that, it's hard to say that it's not, you know.
Did you ever figure out where all that condensation was coming from exactly?
So the design team came down and looked at that. There's two things that are related to that. And we really and truly need to narrow one of those out before we do anything about the other. So first of all, the system was not balanced and cold air was running rampant everywhere because there were no check vacs. So that's part of one of the things that I'd like to narrow out. And I'm not saying that is the cause of it without a shadow of doubt or anything, but that's one of the things that I think needs to be narrowed out, and doing that test and balance in the spring would get that out of the way. The other thing is, they went outside and took off some of the newly installed soffit panels on the exterior of the building. An existing condition of how that building was constructed is that block with the masonry wall was taken all the way up, and then the decking, and we've got
You
pictures
got
of
a
it.
gap between the flutes, what I showed you guys last month.
There's a gap between the flutes of the decking above that soffit. So at this point, the design team had proposed to vent that soffit. And I don't know I'm not saying they're wrong on that, but I just don't know how I can wrap my brain around that. Because that, to me, that seems like you're introducing, if condensation happens when cold air and warm air mix together, and you're venting a soffit where warm air is rising, yeah, rightfully so, it may give a place for it to escape and come on out. But on the flip side of that, it gives a place for air to come in and come on in. So that has actually not been settled. We're still working with the roofer on that, and I've been in discussions with him about that. But given there's an existing condition, here's what my thought is, that soffit there was a part of the soffit that was demoed, and this is the only thing that kind of leads credence to maybe venting it would help, is that soffit was previously done in vinyl, and it was taken off. Nothing else was taken off, no other substrate, just the vinyl soffit was taken off, and then it was wrapped in new metal. Now, I've vinyled houses for a lot of my life, and it breathes a whole lot more than metal does. Vinyl soffit's going to breathe a whole lot more than metal does. And it wasn't an insulated vinyl soffit of any sort. That's the only thing that leads credence in my mind to think that maybe that venting it may be the option. Again, I'm talking through that with the roofer a little bit more, because before we go cutting holes in all that soffit, I want to make right 100% certain that is what's causing that issue.
No, we didn't have anything previous to this, and then after the heat and all this and done, then we got it out.
Yes, yes. And then also to that point, though maybe one, I'm certain, I'm almost certain, I'm going to hedge my bets, I'm almost nearly certain that one of those units in the gym was down. And that having both of those units sub-cooling that space and overcooling everything, we were overcooling the entire building. And having both of those units in there, I'm wondering that if it wasn't maybe not a noticeable issue, but I think maybe you might have had condensation up there back when both of those units run, or maybe you didn't. I don't know that for certain. But I think that subcooling that space made that way worse. And I think that it may have, the potential, and I'm not even saying you've had dripping in the floor, but you may have had some condensation in the ceiling when both of those units work, but I don't know how long it's been since they've worked. Both of them have worked, and I don't know if anybody can speak to that, and I'm genuinely asking if anybody can tell me for sure. But that may have been part of the reason behind that. Again, that's why I've been we're out of the cooling season, I'm not kicking it down the road. I just don't want to go cutting on the building or doing anything that's going to make anybody more upset without knowing what the resolution is and what the problem is that is created. Does that make sense?
You're going to have to shut all this down again to change its valve?
The boiler relief valve, sir?
Yeah.
No, well, the boiler will be down, but it'll be isolated.
If you have the boiler down, then that means no heat, right?
No.
So, Stephen spoke to it a little bit earlier, there is quite a bit of heat in the loop without the boiler, obviously. If we're just circulating water for, let's say, 2 hours, unless it's below 30 degrees, let's say it's 50 degrees, there's enough residual water in the boiler loop to heat that building without the boiler probably for an hour, just by circulating heat around the building. So,
But you said it would take 3 or 4 days to change the
no.
valve, didn't you?
No, when I talked to Brian, he thought it was an off-the-shelf, he was gonna check with his supplier, he thought he could have it in and out, getting the part back within a day, so that tells me he's gonna bypass the boiler, take the relief valve out, and put a new one in. To me, it sounded like he was gonna do it.
But if you don't get it balanced before you do that, then you don't know. But you think that's the problem?
Yes, sir, I think it's definitely a problem, because we can't create enough pressure with pumps to exceed that pop-off valve number.
How was it working before and it's not working?
Grant, I don't know, you can elaborate.
Just with the chiller, being a bigger chiller, there's more water in the loop, there's longer loop line now. So there is more flow, there is more pressure in the building based on primarily the chiller.
Well, when you engineered that, then you should know that the valve was big enough, right?
Well, so that, we're taking care of that, yes, sir. It was an unfortunate incident that the valve was at 30, and, most valves now are 50, so, yeah, it's not a real expensive leak valve. It does take a boiler permit to pull it. That answer your question, sir? Thanks.
If there's any other questions, be happy to go over anything.
I think we're good. We appreciate y'all coming and trying to explain all this.
Yes, ma'am, and I'm terribly sorry for the headache that the school and the staff and the students and the superintendent and the board and the parents and anybody's had to deal with over all this. I know, and I completely understand because I'd be in the same position with my children.
Exactly. I shared that through Stephen. He's kind of the spokesman for the group, but over 30 years, this is the first time I've ever had this happen, and I do apologize.
And I don't have a lot to add here, but I will say that I've been in the loop. I worked on this project when it was just sketches on paper, way back in the day, and I've really enjoyed watching these guys really work hard to try to make this right for you guys. And it's not fair for the kids and for the parents and for you guys, and we recognize that. And we're going to do everything possible to make it right.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on to 2C, that's the substitute report and personnel report. On 3, I need a motion for approval of bills and claims and monthly report.
Take the motion.
Need a second?
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Rhonda? Yes. Ronnie?
Yes.
Eugene? And yes for me. Number 4, approval of October 20th, 2025 board meeting minutes. I need a motion. I need a second. Ronnie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Rhonda? Yes. Eddie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 5, approval of overnight field trips and transportation requests. I need a motion.
Motion.
Need a second.
Second.
Rhonda? Yes. Eugene?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 6, approval of fundraisers. I need a motion.
Motion.
Need a second.
Second.
Eugene?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Rhonda? Yes. Ronnie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 7, approval to establish and reestablish positions. I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 8, approval of district sport event policy. I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 9, approval request for another surplus sales of surplus materials and vehicles. I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 10, approval of agreement with the architect for the Tyner Elementary and Sand Gap Elementary renovations and additions. I need a motion.
Move approval.
I need a second.
Is this the same architect that we just used here?
No.
No. Okay.
That's what you're getting ready to do down here.
All right. Second.
Okay, Ronnie?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 11, approval of facilities planning construction, BG1 for Tyner Elementary. I need a motion.
Move approval.
I need a second.
Second.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 12, facilities planning and construction. I need approval for BG1 Sand Gap Elementary.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 13, approval of emergency day waiver for Jackson County Middle School for November the 13th, 2025, and I believe Ms. Smith needed to read something, or you had some information?
That's for the next one.
Okay, sorry about that.
Is that the day that you?
That's the day only the middle school didn't come. Since
Due to
it
the
was one
heat.
school and we didn't do any virtual, they are gonna give us an emergency day with your guys' approval.
That's the day they had no heat.
That's right, that's right. And
It just cost the school.
So that-
it costed the school district lots of money. So Nikki has the number and that's what our claim is, and they will be reimbursing us for everything we've been without.
We met with the insurance company
Yes.
last week for about 2 hours, met with all of the insurance agent, the attorney for the insurance company. We had a long
They give you
meeting.
much flack, or they know they?
No, it's more just gathering all the numbers from the different parts of what they gotta pay.
Yeah, and so Nikki's already been working on that, and so she's got numbers, we're ready to go, and I've not seen the actual numbers yet, because it'll be the 2 days. The first day that we had none district-wide, and then we looked into it to where we could just shut, because we didn't want to burn our NTI days. And so we looked into that to get the waiver just for that school. And so they will get us both days back there. So it will be different amounts for different reasons, because the one day where we did no transportation or food, and then the next day, just the middle school was out though, so it'll be
Was that a
different.
big headache of who didn't come, and
Yeah, we even,
wasn't that a big headache?
it was. Even there was like one bus driver.
There.
So, well, there wasn't any school, we're like, yeah, just not for the middle school, so.
Now, does that get both of their NTI days back?
Yes, we've used no NTI days.
So that'll just count as one.
We will
Next
add
school.
one day to the end of the school year, which we will make up, sometime, but that's how that one will work, because it was just a traditional snow day. Since we didn't use an NTI, and the next day, no, so, no NTI, we still have 10 of those, we're good.
So I need an approval for item 13.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yeah.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Yes for me. I got public comment, but is this where
This is where Miss
Okay.
Okay. Okay, resolution of the Board of Education of Jackson County, Kentucky, confirming the acceptance of an offer of assistance from the Kentucky School Facilities Construction Commission, authorizing and approving the execution of a participation agreement with said commission, authorizing and approving the execution of a lease agreement with the Jackson County School District Finance Corporation, and any further necessary instruments, approving certain architect's plans for the construction of a certain school building project, and approving the plan of financing the cost of said project. Now go to the PRTC, or
So the public comment, did anyone sign up? Okay. And number 15, I need a motion to take action to recess the Jackson County Board of Education meeting.
Second.
Okay, so Ronnie,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Eugene,
Yes.
yes for me. Number 16, I need a motion to call to order for the Jackson County Finance Corporation.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie,
Yes.
Eugene,
Yes.
Ronnie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
yes for me. Number 17, I need a motion for confirmation of officers. President Debbie Nicholson, Secretary Renee Smith, Treasurer Nikki Cole. I need a motion. I need a second.
Second.
Resolution of the Board of Directors.
Ronnie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Eugene, yes for me. And Ms. Smith.
I'm sorry, I jumped again. A resolution of the Board of Directors of the Jackson County School District Finance Corporation relating to and providing for the issuance of $300,000 principal amount, subject to permitted adjustment of 20% of school building revenue bonds in accordance with sections 58.180 and 162.120 through 162.300 and 162.385 of the Kentucky Revised Statutes to provide funds for school building purposes, providing and determining the duty of said corporation in connection with the operation of the school property, the creation of funds sufficient to pay the principal of the interest on said revenue bonds as and when they mature, the creation of adequate maintenance and insurance funds, and authorizing the execution of a lease of such foregoing property to the Board of Education of the Jackson County School District.
Okay, number 18, I need approval to adopt a resolution authorizing the issuance of revenue bonds. I need a second.
Second.
Ronnie,
Yes.
Eugene,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
yes for me. Number 19, approval to return from recess and adjourn the regular Jackson County Board of Education board meeting and adjourn the Jackson County Finance Corporation meeting. I need a motion.
Second.
Okay, Ronnie,
Yes.
Eugene,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Eddie, yes for me.